Alright guys, next step is to remove the spoiler, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I got some floss, got a heat gun. It is so cold out here, I'm going to look forward to using that heat gun on here. But just get the glue warmed up a little bit, use the floss hopefully to cut through it. I'm going to use painter's tape to kind of outline where the original spoiler ends are, so that I have a reference for the CS style lip. So let's get to it. Just got that last piece off. Used floss, kept snapping on me. Used fishing wire, kept cutting my fingers because it was too thin. So I ended up using a trimmer wire, which was a nylon, so it wouldn't damage the paint. Just like fishing wire, a little bit thicker. Easy to kind of just pull it across here. Just heat it up sections and pull it through. So gonna get this all cleaned off, and then we're gonna put the new trunk spoiler on. Here we go. Okay, it is the next day. I ran out of steam, but also just trying to scrub this rear spoiler. It's just impossible to get that off, and I wasn't going to do it by hand. I was already exhausted from doing the rear diffuser. You see down there, that's sitting nice and pretty, but had to pull the car in. It is snowing and it's starting to come down, so I'm going to work inside the garage. I got a rubber wheel attached to my power drill, so we're going to go ahead and try to use a rubber wheel on this to kind of help with the manual process. Hopefully it goes off pretty smoothly, so we'll give that a go. And then the spoilers inside has double side tape on there, should be good, ready to go. Okay, just finished with the rubber wheel. Took me just under 2 minutes, but man, it just took everything off. So yep, I'm glad I waited, saved my energy, let the tool do the work. But I'm going to go ahead and polish this off, and then IPA wipe it down, and get the new spoiler on here. So. Alright, success. Got it centered up, used the tape, and man, I really like the way this looks. It's better than in pictures, and I'm not really sure the video does justice, but yeah, I got a carbon roof there, so you kind of have those indentations in the center, and that follows the little indentations of the spoiler. So, and then that fully complements the diffuser. So yeah, I'm really liking the way this looks. Super aggressive, and it's so cold out here that the double-sided tape had trouble adhering to the trunk, really. So I used a heat gun to kind of start activating, getting the tape soft, so that when it bonded, had a really good hold. So this thing is on here tight now. Looking good, love it. So last thing left is side skirts and the front lip, which I just need to figure out what to do with the hardware on the front lip. So alright, let's get to it. We're going to go ahead and tackle the side skirts. The snow stopped, and now it's 55 degrees. Everything's melted. Pretty nice to work outside. We're going to go ahead and install the side skirts. In the meantime, while I was waiting, I went ahead and got the side skirts and the front lip PPF'd. So these are sitting here, they're all wrapped ready to be installed. They came with self-tapping screws, some double-sided tape, but to be honest with you, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remove the side skirt here and then nut and bolt it so it's really secure, not really use the double-sided tape and the self-taps. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So T30s on the bottom, and then I think these are just clip-ins. So we're going to go ahead and try to pull this out and then see how it goes. Okay, side skirt is removed. If you guys know me, I absolutely hate plastic trim because I always feel like I'm gonna break a tab off and then you're just SOL. But this one was pretty straightforward. I totally forgot. I missed one of the T30s, so that made life a little bit difficult, and I'm glad I didn't just force it. Just kind of re-inspected it, and we figured out that there was one still holding in there. But other than that, yeah, just 12 of these T30s. I have a mud guard on there, so I had to take the bottom screw out and then start kind of pulling along, and you can kind of see where they're connected, so just put a little pressure on that and then it kind of pulls right off. So headed over, got the table set up here. So here's the side skirt. I'm gonna get this really nice and clean, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just mock this up and get new hardware and bolt it together and put it back on the car. Just finished up drilling the side skirt and went ahead and put the bolts, 2 washers through, the nut on the back, 10 mil, and got it fully secured across the backside. I'm hoping I don't have to trim the bolts, but I thought I got them short enough. But I don't think it interferes with anything on the side skirt, so we're going to try to go ahead and put them on the car now, and it should be complete on side 1. just finished up both sides. Just putting in all those T30 plastic bolts in, but fitment is decent, you know. Had to do some slight modifications, but the line goes right with the flare out of the side skirt. It's very subtle, just the way I like it. Nothing too crazy, too flashy, but adds that little bit of a lip down there. So right now what we have is the rear diffuser on the side there that kind of starts that whole line there, and then finish off with the front lip. So got the other side done, but so far there's the progress of all the carbon, and there's this side as well. So it runs very subtly right through the body line there. So it'll finish with the front lip. Alright, last carbon piece, front lip. I don't know why I waited so long to install this one, but just trying to plan it out, trying to use the OEM hole so I don't have to drill into the bumper. But I'm going to do some mapping out, see what I can do, and we'll go from there. Alright, just ran out of batteries, so recharged the camera and cleared the memory card, and in the meantime I ended up washing the car. So got all that winter grime off, but lips installed and it looks amazing. Fitment is great. This is probably the best fitment out of all the carbon pieces that I ended up getting. But here she is, upper splitter. Lower splitter was left alone, so it kind of breaks up the carbon look. So you can kind of still see the Yasmarina blue outline of the front bumper, and then you get those little pieces there that kind of break up the contrast. But there it is, front lip, upper splitter. The carbon side strakes with a chrome delete, carbon mirror, carbon side skirt. And it came with a carbon roof, CS carbon spoiler, and the P-style carbon diffuser. So looks pretty well put together. I mean, this thing looks really clean. I don't know if the video does justice, but this whole kit is very seamless. Goes with the body lines, so pretty happy with that so far. But that's it for the exterior. So next will probably be either power mods, or we will get the carb lowered and some wheels. Not really sure. But until then, this has been a fun project. Alright, just to finish off the exterior mods, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the chrome badge. Ended up getting an OEM BMW black 3 badge, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. I'm gonna go ahead and use fishing wire. I'm gonna take the emblem off and all the adhesive, use a rubber wheel if needed, and then prep the surface, get the template on there, and we'll readhere the black emblem. So last thing to kind of put a nice bow on all the exterior mods, all the carbon trim and blacked out trim, and should bring the car nicely before we go ahead and do suspension and wheels at a later time. Alright, let's go. Just installed the emblem, so extremely easy as long as you just take your time. I used just blue painter's tape to kind of get in the general outline of where the original OEM badge was, lined it up, and then I had this little bubble level that I used just to make sure it was level. But man, that does transform that back. It looks way more aggressive. Just small details, you know. So little details change the look of the car completely. So that pretty much wraps up the whole exterior mods, minus the wheels and suspension that I'm going to go with later. But for now, we are good. Man, this looks great. Alright, until next time.